school, and
What's the kid's name?
Timmy.
Oh god, not this shit again.
Oh, Timmy. Yeah.
That's
Why
a
not?
silly
I know.
name.
He's a troublemaker.
There were these 2 servants. How about 3?
So little Timmy is on his way to school, and and on the way there, there's this homeless guy who comes out of nowhere and grabs him and shakes him, and then says "purple box" to him, and then falls over dead. And the boy's like, "Holy crap!" But he still has to go to school because he's running late. So he goes to school, and
What, he doesn't
then
call the ambulance.
No, he just needs to. He just leaves
So he
it.
just
I
leaves
guess.
the old guy to die on the street.
The guy's
See,
dead.
everybody's wondering
There's
now.
nothing
They're in New
more he
York.
can do.
That's normal.
Someone
gotta
needs
be
to pick
America.
up the body.
It is in New York. It's in so it's America. Yeah. So that's
So
what
we have
I
No
was
one,
like a
gives,
thinking.
no one gives a
psychopathic
shit about
killer.
homeless people.
Guy
Just
who's
wait
going
until the
to
street
school
Right.
sweepers come
named
round.
Timmy.
So Timmy goes to school
What
and he's talking to his
cold-hearted
friend, and and his friend says, "Why were you late?" And Timmy says, "Okay, I was on my way to school, but then this homeless guy came out of nowhere and said 2 words to me, and then he fell over dead." And his friend's like, "Well, what did he say? What were the 2 words?" And he says the 2 words were "purple box." And his friend runs off screaming, and
I think I've heard this.
brings it. Awesome. Should I stop?
No. I've heard it. It's blue
Okay.
moon. Is the 2 words that I heard.
Oh, okay. No, it's maybe it's
No,
Purple
different.
box.
Anyway.
Purple box.
Right. So then, the teacher comes over and she's like, "Well, what's going on here?" And he goes, "Well, I was on my way to school and this homeless guy came out and shook me and said 2 words to me, and then he died, and then I told my friend and he ran off screaming." She goes, "What's the 2 words?" He says, "Purple box." So the teacher says, "You go to the principal's office right now, young man." So he goes to the principal's office, and the principal says, "Okay, tell me what happened." He goes, "All right, so I was walking to school, this homeless guy came out of nowhere, told me 2 words, and then died, and then I told my friend, and he ran away screaming, and I told my teacher, and she sent me here." And the the principal says, "What were the 2 words?" And the boy's like, "I don't want to tell you, because then you get angry." He goes, "I promise I won't give you detention, okay?" And he goes, "All right, the 2 words were purple box." And the head teacher goes, "You are expelled from this school. Get out right now." So the boy goes home, and his mom's like, "Why are you home so early?" And he goes, "Well, I was on my way to school, and a homeless guy came out of nowhere and said 2 words to me, and then died, and then I told my friend, and he ran away screaming. I told my teacher, she sent me to the principal's office, and the principal, I told him, and he expelled me from the school." She goes, "Oh, that's horrible. What were the 2 words?" And he said, "Purple box." And his mom says, "Go to your room right now and wait for your father to get home." So he goes to his room, and his father comes home and says, "What's happened?" And he explains the whole thing. And then his father goes, what were the 2 words?" And he goes, "Purple box." And his father says, "You are no longer my son. Get out of this house." So the boy leaves the house, and he knows he's got some family in Europe, and he's got some money saved. So he goes. He's going to go to the airport and go to Europe to live with his relatives. So
Did he
he
bring his
gets in a cab.
passport?
He's got it. Don't worry. He's got that.
Okay.
And he goes. And he gets a cab, and the cab's driver's like, "You're a bit young to be going to the airport by yourself. What happened?" And he tells him, "Well, I was on my way to school, and blah 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 blah. And then I told the teacher and the principal and my mum and my dad, and now I'm homeless and I have to go and live with people in Europe." And the cab driver says, "My goodness, so what were the 2 words?" And he goes, "Purple box." And the cab driver says, "Get out of the cab right now. I don't want your money. Get out. Just walk to the airport." So he has to get out and walk to the airport. And he walks to the airport and boards on the plane. And he's halfway through the flight. They're sort of halfway along the Atlantic Ocean. And the pilot invites him to come up to the cockpit. And he says, why are you on your way to Europe?" And the boy explains the story, and the pilot says, "My God, what were the 2 words?" And the boy's like, "I don't want to tell you." And the pilot's like, "There's not really much I can do to you up here. I mean, we're in a plane. What's going to happen?" So the boy says, "Okay, the 2 words were purple box." And the pilot just gets really angry. He grabs something from under the seat and shoves it into the boy's arms, and he goes, "That's a parachute. Get off the plane." I don't want you on the plane. Jump out of the plane. So the boy has to jump out of the plane, takes the parachute, and he ends up landing on an island. And there's an old hermit that lives on the island, like really old, like Tom Hanks in Castaway. And he goes, "What do you?
Tom Hanks
what do you
isn't old.
fell from the?" No, but like he's wearing rags and he's got a beard and he's all like he's been on the island
Ew.
for a long time. And he says, "What happened to you?" And the boy says, "Well, a homeless guy came out of nowhere and blah blah blah." He tells him the whole thing, and he goes, What were the two words?" And he says, "Purple box." And the man says, "Okay, what I want you to do is there's a boat on the end of the island. You take that, you go back to New York, you climb up to the top of the Empire State Building and look down, and you will see your answer, the answer you've been looking for." And the boy's like, "Oh, wow, okay, you're not going to tell me anything more?" And the guy goes, "Nope, you have to find out for yourself." So the boy takes the boat, goes all the way back to New York, climbs up to the top of the Empire State Building, and he looks down, and then he sees a big, huge sign that says "Purple Box" written on it, and an arrow pointing down. And the boy runs all the way down to the bottom of the Empire State Building, runs, and he sees the sign across the road, and he runs across the street, and he gets hit by a car and dies. And the moral of the story is, always look both ways before you cross the road.
Oh,
Oh god.
The one I got told was half as short as Dox's one. I was wondering where like Dox started improvising, or is it really that long?